Hey there, Pisces. How you doing? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. We are checking in for your energies. Sun, moon, and rising will be the most dominant. Let's see what is going on and how we can best support your journey today for our lovely Pisces friends. All right. We're going to do a Celtic cross. So let's see what the current energy is and what we need to know. Thank you, Spirit. What's current energy? Okay, sitting in the current energy, we have got the 9 of Wands. Let's see what is crossing this. The 7 of Swords. What's influencing this? Well, I've got a few. 6 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, King of Cups. Okay. How the past is impacting currently. We have got the Death energy. What's going on mindfully? We have got Ace of Cups. Near future. 10 of Swords. It's interesting because there's a bit of similar energy from yesterday. Power in this situation. 3 of Swords. Current environment. Ace of Pentacles. Hopes and fears. 2 of Wands. And potential outcome. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we've got 3 here. No, we've got 4. I'm just going to take them, guys. We've got the Emperor, the Moon, the 6 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Underneath, 5 of Pentacles. So let's see where this takes us. All right, Pisces. So connecting in right now, this seems like energetically to be around trust in some regard. But let's, dive in more and see what is going on. So the current energy, you're sitting in a 9 of Wands. So there's something here that you could be a bit exhausted about, something that you're trying to stand up for, something that you're trying to keep pursuing in. But I feel a bit of an exhaustion, but at the same time, you might be feeling a little bit switched off, trying to keep up with everything. You know, there's this part of, I'm here, I'm doing it, but there could also be like, I'm not sure what to do next. The 7 of Swords crossing this, you know, in the challenging position. This could be about some form of deceit, deception, or questioning that. Something maybe you can't put your finger on. This could also be too something that you need to do strategically in support of you to get to shift this 9 of Wands energy. Instead of feeling like you're in survival mode, how do you get to this next phase? This could be a way of how do we figure this out, and what do we need to do to get to and relieve, you know, potentially the tension, but also get to a place where you find some freedom in whatever you're doing. So this could be more strategic, but we're going to dive in and we'll see. The 6 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. Again, there's some reflection here. It could be of past experiences, a connection that you've had, or a connection that you're in. But it seems again that there's a little bit of sense of instability or trying to navigate a situation, and whether this is at peace, you're at peace, the situation is at peace, you know, finding that equilibrium of contentment. Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty that you could be experiencing right now. But at the same time, you know, maybe you're questioning if someone loves you, if someone's giving the way, you know, that supports this. Are 2 people coming from the same direction around this situation. But having a look when it comes to the past and how this is impacting it, there's definitely been change. There's been change here. There's either been an ending that this could have something to do with the Seven of Swords that is impacting this dynamic or situation. Maybe you're reflecting on the efforts, the energy, how you're feeling about something and want to do next. But I feel like there's been a significant change in your life over a period of time that you could be reflecting on. And again, what do I do next? How am I feeling about it? What am I seeing? What am I witnessing? It's like you're being more so hyper vigilant of your surroundings, of the way someone is approaching something or the way someone is doing something. But ultimately, there is some form of connection here. This seems to be more so on a relationship dynamic. Having the Ace of Cups here, when it's, above you, this is like what's happening in the mind, what's happening, with our thoughts and our connection. And the Ace of Cups, there seems to be something here of, again, questioning, because this is in the mind, questioning potentially a new beginning, or questioning whether this is it, or whether you feel connected enough. Is this something that you can potentially revive if this is an older connection that could be coming back in, which is possible for some of you. This Ten of Swords that's showing up in the near future more so seems about it's kind of like let bygones be bygones, let endings have ended and allow them to end and allow them to stay there. But I feel like there's a little bit of realization here of also seeing what's around you and what's in front of you. And I feel right now you're trying to connect all the pieces to feel safety, to feel supported, to feel like, okay, not everything's going to be straightforward in life. There's not straight road to certain places, Sometimes when things are just in flow, they work, right? But you could be going like this. And it just seems like there is something here from your past that is still unsettling this current situation, or is making you really look at everything from every particular angle. I feel like you're looking at everything with a bit more of a microscope. And that's what could be being asked of you. Are you willing to let go? The hard stuff, what you've dealt with, where you've been, that is really at an end. And I think there's something here to potentially look at, witness, decipher, understand about yourself. Can we really let the past go here? That's what I feel that this is about. Because your power in the situation, you've got the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords, yes, is also about our mind and how we think about things, which our mind, as we know, impacts our emotions. We can imagine, we can sit down and think about a situation we've been in the past and take ourselves back there and feel those things and experiences. And it's also, if you've heard before, right? If I gave you a lemon, and if you closed your eyes right now, and I gave you a lemon and told you to bite into it, you feel things change in your mouth, even though you don't have that physical lemon right now. But the thought of biting into a lemon, if you really closed your eyes, you probably could even smell the lemon. That's the kind of thing. It changes our physiology. And I feel there's something here about some hurt or something that you've been in or experienced right now is what are you going to do with that energy? If this is truly, you can bring something to a true close, gain closure after hurt, after discomfort, after whatever situation you've been in, your power now is through the healing, is through the expansion. And how you take that and use that is going to matter, is going to make a difference. Because in terms of the environment and what's coming around, you've got another ace and you've got an Ace of Pentacles. So there's something here that wants to present itself. But what is it that you're looking at is going to be incredibly important right now. What are you focusing on? What are you looking at? Where are you giving your energy? And I think that's going to be, a key thing that's happening right now, or where you could be breaking through to really acknowledge what's going on here. Because sometimes it's easy for us to really pay attention to other people and what they're doing. But sometimes that's us giving our power away and not focusing on ourselves and what we're doing or what we need to do for ourselves. And I feel like this is a key part here right now, because something wants to enter your life. There seems to be new opportunity. I feel for some of you, if there has been a challenging past, right, where there has been something that you haven't trusted in a person, you learn about some form of, someone not doing the right thing, and it's been a healing journey for you. What I feel is happening here is that the potential hypervigilance, the potential of what's going on around you, or trying to create change and trying to get on a new path, all that seems heavy right now. But I think the heaviness at the same time has just become the norm and the survival component. And I feel right now you do have something wonderful around you. I feel like you're really trying to connect into it. You're really trying to tap into it. And there's just this part of, are you willing to let go of the past? Are you willing to let go of the present and trust and allow? Because I think this is the key part, because something wants to show up and present to you. But you're also looking at the hopes and the fears of the Two of Wands, which is your plans, which is what you see in your future. So I think there's a strong desire here for a new beginning, or to feel connected and have that safety and stability in partnership or in your career, whatever it may be right now that your key focus. But this seems to be more relational. Okay. But I can see here, I think a big part is, again, wanting to make the right decision in the direction that you're going, and something that you can trust, something that I think this is more so about trusting in yourself, that what you're feeling, experiencing, seeing, it's all real. But what validity and what is true ultimately underneath it as you step forward and progress in a certain direction. That's how this is kind of feeling. In terms of where this is all going, you've got the Emperor, you've got the Moon, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. Whether you're dealing with a masculine right now, or potentially an Aries energy, this could be, also a boss, a father figure, a partner, I think some of you are feeling right now that perhaps you just want to be on your own. Maybe some of you are feeling right now that you don't... Let me just take a step back. There's like a path that I feel that you're driving right now, okay? There's a part that you feel in control of, and I feel there's a part that you feel out of control, right? Like you're waiting on the universe, you're waiting on certain people to get back to you, you're waiting on, how people show up. Like I said, you're looking at a lot of different things right now. And this Emperor energy and the representation of feels like it's interesting. I feel this energy around you, but the energy doesn't feel fully there, So I don't know if this is you stepping into you, or a person around you that's not fully present, not fully showing up. And I feel this could be part of you questioning, should you, and you maybe not be expressing this, but maybe some of you are looking at moving on or moving away from this person or from this situation, and you haven't been sharing that's how you feel. And this is where I just think there's a lot in question right now of where you want to be and who you want to be with, and whether this is a long-term thing, whether you can see a future there, or what does your future look like? And maybe right now it isn't clear. And that's okay, Pisces, that is okay. But there seems to be a lot about you and what you want to do and where you want to be. And I think the question to ask yourself is, where you are and who you're with going to take you there? Is it enough? And this keeps coming back. I think this was, the reading a day or two before. Is it enough? And I think that's a big question mark, because right now you do have an opportunity presenting itself. Right now, your power in your situation is, how can you use where you've been and apply it in your life? How can you take that energy? How can you take that supportive, healing vibe that you've been working on? I don't know if I feel an ending directly right now. I feel like there's a lot of thoughts, or the way that someone, is showing up maybe isn't giving to you the way they did initially, And maybe that's what's hurting you. Maybe that's what you're hoping, is that someone can give, or this dynamic can give a new heartbeat to whatever you're experiencing. But I think this is a part of, can you bring peace to the way that you think or that you're experiencing right now? Or is this about you going your own path and direction and focusing on yourself? Because I can see some of you are really questioning here, just to not throw it all away, but just to throw it and just go, you know what, I don't know. This isn't giving the way I need this situation. So what does Pisces need to give to themselves right now? It seems like there's something here you've got to shift from. Yeah, there's something shifting here. I think a part of it too, as I said, something feeling unbalanced or a little uncertain or not sure where it's going. I feel you might need to pull that apart a little bit and what that is about. Because is it something you're not giving yourself? Because a person, a job, whatever it may be, a parent, they can't give us everything. Not one person can fully satisfy us and be our be-all, end-all. A lot of it is about us and filling our own cups, okay? And sometimes that's not easy when we do have sometimes expectations of people, and there's a difference for standards and expectation, right? There's nothing wrong with having high standards. I do think that's incredibly important. But having expectations is usually an internal thing that we put on someone else. So I just feel like there's something you need to move away from. And I don't know too if this is more about the way that you sit. I don't know if you sit there and really think about this situation quite deeply. Like, again, you're looking at every angle, looking at everything. And I feel like that could be where you're putting your energy is more so creating scenarios potentially that isn't supportive for you. It's like you might be going down rabbit holes or something with this moon energy. And I feel like Spirit's asking you, can you move away from that and more self-focus on you? Because then that when you're more focused on you and your goals and your ambitions and your stability and your career and your money, it means you're letting go of the other things and allowing them to show up and present to you in the best way, right? And another key part is if you are the best version of yourself, would you be accepting this? Would you be okay with this? So it feels like there's still more work that you've got to do for you. And that's said with love. I think we all are growing and expanding, and we're all here for a reason right now. We're looking for some guidance. We're looking for some support in a certain direction. And, sometimes there's these things that we experience in life. And I feel like this is a key part of it right now. Are you willing to let go of where you've been, explore and experience something new, or engage in something new and let go? And I don't know, you can see where something heads to, but if it's really not filling your cup, do you want to keep putting energy into it? Or is it that you need to fill your cup because something is missing? Right? And I think that's an important thing right now. And it is sometimes the hardest thing, right? Because there could be this loneliness. There could be, I think the worst thing is being, I think I wrote about this yesterday actually in one of my posts on YouTube. I think sometimes it's really hard when you're around people and you actually feel alone, and there could be something here about that. But I feel a big part is feeding yourself right now, whatever that is and whatever that looks like. And finding those things that allows you to sit in this Nine of Pentacles. You can still, work with this Emperor, as in, build, create. You can choose to move on. But I think a key part is what are you willing to do for you and take your power and just lead that for yourself. Because I do feel like this little bit of sense of confusion that you kind of do need to step away from. I don't know what it is that you're confused about. I just think that there's a little bit of back and forth between present and past, and trying to navigate all the information that you're witnessing, feeling, experiencing intuitively, where you're going. And it's a lot. And I feel like the heaviness, and I think you're trying to find your way out of something. And it could be just as simple as finding your way out to trust yourself and to feel safe in where you're going. And that, you know, is this really something you can build on? Is this something that you can really create on? Or is this something that you should be ending? And I think this is, you know, really deciding what it is that you need right now. I'm going to get you a couple of Moonology cards that hopefully can give you some support right now. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. So there could be, you know, some conversation that you need to have. And sometimes it's just... Communication can come in many different forms, as you know, guys. But I think sometimes for some of you, this is writing out your words, your feelings on why, you're feeling what you're feeling, what's coming up, and getting honest with yourself. The more you can unpack that, the less power it has over you and the more self-aware you can become. And then take time to breathe out. Yeah, because I feel like you're carrying a bunch of stuff here and trying to weigh up something that you feel you need to make a decision on right now. Whatever this communication piece that needs to be had, yeah, and then you've got conclusions are within reach. So, yeah, I'm really feeling right now with all of this, I do think you need to get your thoughts and feelings out. I do feel like you need to express where you're sitting right now. And taking the time to breathe out, there's two parts here. I think part of the communication is, again, being honest with yourself about how you're feeling, but why. I think sometimes we miss the why. We know we're feeling something, but why are we feeling it? And that's where you have to get a bit deep with yourself. And usually that's time to sit with yourself. But I feel this will release a lot for you, because I feel like there's a lot of energy that you're holding on to. Or find that trusted friend. Get that support somewhere. If you do need to talk to someone about what you're experiencing right now, I feel that's a good thing. But I also sense you need to be in the right energy yourself. And I think the first point is getting honest with how you're feeling and why you're feeling it. You know, sometimes when you do express yourself and then when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I don't know if this happened to you. It's happened to me, but I might have all these feelings and I'm holding on to something, and then I express it and I'm like, oh my God. Is that really what I was worried about, or was that what I was thinking? I think this is something to get real with yourself on and unpack it, because you'll understand more why this thing is coming up. And I do feel it's something to do with your past, but for some reason you're experiencing some things in your present that's not feeling safe or balanced. And I think once you do that, that's where you'll be able to understand more of the direction you want to go, where you want to put your time and energy, because this is conclusions are within reach. But more importantly, I do feel this is a big part on focusing on you right now, because I think you're giving a lot of energy to something or someone else and very focused on where they are and what they're doing, on their approach and how they care. And look, I think it is important to, you know, understand a person, what they're doing, where they're at. But at the same time, there's something about the safety that seems important. And I think the best thing you can do is be the best version of yourself. And then when you're feeling in that energy, you can make decisions that you need to make in support of you. But I do feel there's something you've got to move away from right now, Pisces, when it comes to how you're thinking about something. Or move away from a situation that's making you feel this way, you know? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Love you, friend. I'll catch you soon. Bye.